Is that a fact? Mind your tongue. I'm not an imbecile. I know when I'm being patronized, and I don't care for the suggestion that you're stronger than me.
Yeah, I wasn't really suggesting.
What?
When you think of rivals in Shonen, you might think of Naruto and Sasuke, Deku and Bakugo, or most famously, Goku and Vegeta. And if you're talking about Goku and Vegeta in Dragon Ball Super, I would agree that the two of them are rivals. However, that didn't seem to be the case in Dragon Ball Z. A quick look back on their relationship shows that if there was ever a rivalry present, it was one-sided at best, with Vegeta chasing Goku around and even at times being guided by Goku and his superior training methods. This video is going to go over both of Goku and Vegeta's fights in Dragon Ball Z portion of the manga, and most of their interactions, or ways you could say they were competing, and for the most part break down why one of them was stuck in a one-way rivalry that he couldn't let go of because of his pride. The villain or antagonist of the arc being the opposite of the MC is a trope as old as fiction itself, and Dragon Ball is no stranger to this. Frieza, Cell, and Vegeta are all the opposite of Goku when they're introduced in one way or another. But Vegeta was sort of the first one, the peak of the Saiyan race, the Saiyan elite, whereas Goku was a low-class warrior, and Vegeta is the opposite of Goku in just about every way that really matters for the story to function. He's much stronger, his moral compass is about as crooked as it gets, and he does not care for his comrades. So let's quickly focus on this last bit here, because it's the first difference between them we're introduced to. When Goku first gets to the battlefield, he makes sure everyone still alive is okay and has been tended to before he even engages with Nappa, while assessing just how much damage has been caused here, which mainly consists of just him counting how many dead friends he has. Then when engaging with Nappa, he makes sure to land a hit on him for each of his friends that had fallen, one for Tien, Piccolo, Yamcha, and Chaozu. Vegeta, on the other hand, can't even be bothered to treat his friend after he's fallen and immediately throws Nappa into the sky before hitting him with a ki blast that was way beyond what was needed to actually kill Nappa. And something to highlight about what both Goku and Vegeta here is that these aren't necessary things they're doing. Goku doesn't have to make sure Gohan and Krillin are okay before dealing with Nappa. He could easily do that after the fight is over with. It's not like they're going to be able to help him at all, but he does it anyway because he cares. And Vegeta didn't have to kill Nappa here at all. Nappa is a cripple at this point and no harm to anyone. He certainly never harmed Vegeta at all, but simply because Vegeta didn't deem Nappa worthy of living anymore in the state that he was in, he decided to end his life. This comparison between how they treat their comrades can be linked with Nappa to Goku as well, where Goku spared Nappa even though he was an opponent, Vegeta didn't even though he was an ally and a friend. So morally, Goku is clearly superior to Vegeta, and his character arc through the rest of the series is going to reflect this. That much is obvious, but I wanted this to be known because this rivalry is one-sided in more ways than just simply power. With that being said, let's jump right into talking about simply power. Goku and Vegeta's first fight definitely depicted more growth for Goku than we see for Vegeta. We get to see Goku in his element as a Saiyan and really show off what he learned from King Kai, because his base form is simply not enough. Vegeta is way stronger, and even Kaioken isn't enough to begin with until Goku pulls out all he possibly can, using both the Kaioken times 3 and 4, completely destroying his body. At the end of the day here though, Goku lost. Even though he was way stronger than Vegeta and used all his power and sacrificed his body, he lost to Vegeta, and he probably would have lost even without the Great Ape transformation, considering the condition his body was in after using Kaioken times 4. This is really the jumping off point to this so-called rivalry. Both of these fighters consider this battle a loss for themselves. Vegeta more so took damage to his pride, however, not only being beaten and battered, but having his life spared at Goku's wish when Krillin had him dead to rights. Goku, however, like I said, outright lost to Vegeta here. There is no debating that. Vegeta's life is spared with the thought in mind that one day Goku would get to fight him again, but this time both surpass and beat him. Goku never really gets to make good on this promise, however, or I guess you could say Toriyama failed to deliver, because while it is true that Goku has surpassed Vegeta, they never get to fight again for real, and when they do fight their second time, Goku has other things to worry about on top of holding back, so the fight doesn't really hit the mark the way we expected the rematch to go, and that's not a bad thing, let me be 100% clear. I actually think that Goku not randomly running it back with Vegeta makes sense, given the stronger opponents he has to face, and shows a level of maturity that he doesn't care about fighting the unimportant fights right now. The point I'm going to try and convince you of over the next couple of minutes actually kind of hinges on this idea, and it's that Vegeta versus Goku becomes a one-sided obsession as opposed to a rivalry. Goku and Vegeta don't fight for a while after the Saiyan arc, so the comparisons between the two of them are mostly power-based until their fated rematch in a later section of the story. So let's talk about their methods of powering up. If Vegeta is to represent the true Saiyan in the way he gets stronger, constantly battling and recovering in this arc to get stronger from Zenkai boost, then Goku in this arc is the direct upgrade to the true Saiyan. The most basic extrapolation of the dynamic shift here is that Goku is on his way to save planet Namek, where Vegeta normally goes to a planet to conquer it. Further extrapolation shows a bit more. Goku is traveling in a ship based on the engine of the one he traveled in when he was a baby, souped up and complete with a training room, wherein Goku is training on the way to the planet, reliving one of the primal cycles of the Saiyans, gaining strength by facing and overcoming death. Goku is traveling in Saiyan technology pushed even further, and just like how Vegeta had been born in and gotten used to a planet 10 times the gravity of the one Goku was raised on, Goku is here at 10 times that gravity, bringing out all the power his Saiyan cells can possibly afford him within his short 5-day training period, with the narrator stating that Goku hasn't realized it, but his power surpasses what Saiyans are supposed to be capable of. It's possible I'm looking too deep into this, but to be fair, it all adds up, and I don't think I'm reaching with anything here. When Goku gets to the planet, the chasm that had grown between him and Vegeta will become far more apparent as Vegeta begins to think Goku has become the legendary Super Saiyan, a legendary warrior that only appears once every 1,000 years. Lie, by the way. And thinking Goku has utterly surpassed Saiyan strength, being a complete different warrior from the one he had fought on Earth just half a year ago. The Glaze Fest continues from here as Goku gets to bully people that picked on Vegeta his whole life, one of which crippled him just moments ago. This is, funnily enough, an insult to Vegeta. He does not like that Goku saved his life here, but we'll talk about that later. Before getting to the Frieza fight, I want to talk about some pretty insane Zenkai boosts that happen here, since right here at this point, Goku in his base form is not stronger than Vegeta. And we know this because Vegeta goes to fight Frieza, and not only is he pretty even with him, Frieza has the same upgraded scouter model as Ginyu, and we know those can read power levels up to 180,000 because of Captain Ginyu's reading of Goku's. And Vegeta powering up in front of Frieza broke the scouter off of his face. Let me make it clear, Vegeta is not as strong as Frieza. After the scuffle, Vegeta is breathing extremely hard and Frieza is just fine. And while it was going on, Vegeta literally has veins popping from his head, while Frieza again is just fine. So he probably just wasn't giving it his all. I don't want to speculate Vegeta's power level, just know it's higher than Goku's power level in his base form. So Vegeta, who was at a 30,000 when fighting Raccoon, leveled up by over 6 times just from one Zenkai boost. Just to mention as well, a V-Jump guide from, I don't know, a century ago claimed Vegeta's power level to be a 250,000, which is consistent with what I'm saying. I just don't know its validity, so I won't claim it to be the actual number. That number would put this at just under a 8.5 times increase, which is impressive and all, but Goku's Zenkai is even crazier. After getting beaten up by Vegeta, Goku's body goes from a 90,000 in base form to a 3 million, an increase just short of 33.5 times. Now, I'm not saying just because Goku got a bigger boost, he's better. I'm saying the training Goku did to strengthen his body led to him getting a bigger boost than Vegeta. One thing is for sure, a higher power level does not grant you a bigger Zenkai boost. We know that's not true because Vegeta got a second Zenkai in between these 2 points after Krillin blasted a hole in his chest for Dende to heal, and he still didn't get as strong as the one Goku got from being injured. Like I said, if Vegeta is the true Saiyan, Goku is the direct upgrade, a statement that just becomes all the more validated after seeing Goku obtain Super Saiyan and beat Frieza, 2 things Vegeta could not have accomplished because, to be clear, even if Vegeta did unlock Super Saiyan, he still wouldn't have been strong enough to take out Frieza. Even if you're being generous and say Vegeta's power level was a 2 million, the 50 times boost wouldn't have been enough, and of course it wouldn't be Vegeta without trying to one-up Goku one last time before his ultimate defeat, yelling that he was the Super Saiyan after all, even though Goku can't even hear him. After Frieza's defeat, we find Vegeta has come to live on Earth over the last year and a half, post being revived by the Namekian Dragon Balls, where he still unfortunately has not caught up to Goku. But Vegeta does get his time. Piccolo thinks he might be stronger than Goku following the fight with Android 19, and after that Vegeta gets stronger than Goku after going into the hyperbolic time chamber. But this victory is short-lived and is used as another way to just show us Vegeta is kind of just inferior to Goku. Goku and Gohan go into the time chamber, and after not even spending a year inside, completely eclipses Vegeta, who even got a second go in the chamber. After feeling half of Goku's power, Vegeta starts to get insecure again, claiming it's always like this and how Goku is one step ahead of him, and more importantly, that he'll pay for it one day. This is the obsession I'm talking about. Goku doesn't care about Vegeta, at least not in this way. He trains the way he can and just simply moves on. It's not a competition with him. Vegeta is the only one competing in this race. Goku just also happens to be running. This is also where we get that clip that I played in the intro, where Goku humiliates Vegeta. Although, to be fair, it looks much worse in the anime. They even cut the music when Goku starts his insult. You could use this clip as a way to say Goku is a participant in the rivalry, but I think it's more than that. Goku is stating his superiority to everyone here, and Vegeta asked for specifics. Goku just told him yet again. And I know I keep calling this an insult, but it's only an insult to Vegeta. No one else cares that Goku is this much stronger than them. They expect him to be the one to beat Cell anyway. The inside look at Goku's training shows him to be superior to Vegeta anyway. Goku quickly learns how to break the Super Saiyan wall and even extends it to grade 3 at the same time. However, he quickly determines both forms are inefficient and not to be used. This is obviously something Vegeta could not recognize, and Trunks as well, but that's not important for this video. Goku does this while also having to train Gohan, and together they come up with a way to master the Super Saiyan form. So well, it goes up in grades. After the Cell Saga, Super Saiyan is known as grade 4 or Mastered Super Saiyan. Think of it the same way there are different grades of steak. This new form is the Wagyu of Super Saiyan. Being outmatched by both Goku and Gohan proves too much to bear for Vegeta, and at the end of the Cell arc, he vows to never fight again. Obviously that didn't work out, but it still had a giant effect on him. The Buu Saga is where we get the reconciliation to this entire one-sided beef, with Vegeta finally admitting it for one, and then his speech at the end accepting his inferiority. And that's really the only 2 points I want to focus on here with this arc before closing out the video. Majin Vegeta is interesting for Vegeta's character, probably the most interesting change we've seen in a character from Dragon Ball, but the takeaway relevant to this video is just how much Vegeta wants to fight Goku and how insecure he was about not being on Goku's level. He essentially made a deal with the devil to gain more strength because he recognized that once again, despite all his training and efforts, Goku had managed to stay superior to him in every way. And finding out that Vegeta basically doesn't even want to do this makes complete sense. The way he comes off when speaking about Goku makes him sound like a complete child. His speech can be boiled down to Goku was too much stronger than me and he saved my life, and since I'm supposed to be the best, that hurts my feelings. But since he's so dedicated and clearly serious about it, it makes the obsession just that much more visible. Goku and Vegeta were going to fight in the tournament, but when other events arise, Goku doesn't care about fighting Vegeta and only wants to get Buu and Babidi out of the way since they're more important. And I know Goku agreed to fight with Vegeta, but that's missing context. Goku's initial plan was to go Super Saiyan 2 and end Vegeta with his full power quickly so that he didn't lose much energy. However, after he powers up, Vegeta also enters Super Saiyan 2 and he says it won't be so quick. Of course, Goku has Super Saiyan 3 in his back pocket, but that drains a ton of energy to stay in the form, and he's obviously trying to preserve his time on Earth. This is his last day for all of eternity anyway. That's not super important. My point here is that Goku didn't plan on battling it out with Vegeta. This was supposed to be a quick spanking to bring Vegeta to his senses. Vegeta just pulled out more power than Goku was expecting. This couldn't be more apparent than when Goku immediately wanted to stop fighting Vegeta once he felt Majin Buu's ki. I also think it's impressive how Goku basically shatters Vegeta's want to fight with just one line. While Vegeta's touting about how he doesn't care about anybody and how he sold his soul, Goku just says he didn't sell his love for his family, something Vegeta has no response for, but he does decide here that he's going to fight Buu alone. And before his death, he says goodbye to the only 3 people he cares for: Bulma, Trunks, and Goku. This makes the reconciliation at the end of the Buu arc that much better, with Vegeta finally recognizing the difference between him and Goku. Goku fights to better himself, which Master Roshi taught him, while Vegeta fights to win or to kill. He does that even now. It's a simple conclusion, but it's needed for Vegeta to get over his secret Goku crush and finally understand that just because Goku wants to get stronger doesn't mean he's trying to stay ahead of Vegeta. Anyway, I hope I made my point clear. Vegeta was never a rival for Goku, at least until Dragon Ball Super, that is, when they're much more even and in clear competition with one another. If you liked the video, be sure to leave a like on it and subscribe to the channel, but other than that, have a nice day.